My hope is found. He is my light, my strength, my song, this cornerstone.
Welcome back, dear viewer. We are on the program Let Us Reason Together, and we are discussing about child abuse today. With me, we have got a panel of teachers who are well experienced, and they are saying some of these cases are no longer there, and they are outlawed. We want to appreciate so far what has been done by everybody, the stakeholders who came on board to ensure that today we don't have bullying in schools, for example, and we will still overcome these other areas that are still a problem of child abuse. Right now, we're going to look at the interventions in terms of now, how can we overcome these other areas that are still hard here and there in one school or the other in our country. I'd want to begin with Madam Leonora to just give us a glimpse of what interventions can be brought on board so that we do not hear of these cases anymore.
Thank you, Eric. Now, even as we mentor this child, we know that he is the one who is to take over this country. Mm-hmm. So we have to do it with a lot of care. And therefore, there are many, many interventions that have been put in place. First and foremost, I'll talk about channels of communication in schools. Mm-hmm. We have the students' barazas, where they come in and they're able to express their grievances. They're able to say what is good and what is not good in the school. And therefore, the school administration will take it up and actually correct where necessary. Another thing, we have the parent. The parent plays a very important role in the school. The parents' associations are very important, where they come in and they are able to intervene, for example, through motivating the students, listening to the students and listening to the child even at home, helping them in doing their work so that at the end of the day, they are not abused in any way. Now, the parent also has to play a very major role at home, especially when it comes to giving work. They have to give the child work that they are able to manage, bearing in mind that this child has also homework, this child has also books to read, this child is going to face a national exam at the end of 4 years. So the parent plays a major role. So the PA in schools helps us because then the child is able to know that the parent is brought on board and they are able to actually defend them.
When you say PA, do you mean public address?
No. No, Eric. Actually, this is what was the Parents Teachers Association. Okay. Now it is no longer Parents Teachers Association, it's just the Parents Association, where the parents come in and they discuss issues as parents. Yeah, they only involve the teacher and the administration when need be. But there they discuss their own ways on how to motivate their children, on how to mentor their children, on even how to motivate the teacher so that because when they leave this child, they are leaving this child with the teacher. So they have to, at the end of the day also, say, congratulations, teacher. Congratulations, my child. Right. So that at the end of the day, the child is able to be brought up in the best way possible.
Wonderful.
So it's actually Parents Association.
Great. Yeah, let's hear more of these interventions from Madam Pamela.
Thank you, Eric. In school, we have rules and regulations, which every student, when they are admitted to any school, they are handed with a copy of school rules and regulations. And currently, how the school rules are being formulated, there is a rule and what to be done if a student does not comply to that rule. So that is like a guide, like a roadmap for any student in any given school. Another intervention would be parents to be guided maybe by the higher authority, by the school administration, by bodies, maybe from the Ministry of Education, because sometimes you find that parents have maybe a twisted view of maybe school rules and regulations or certain programs in a school, or even maybe certain teachers.
Or just to add on what Pamela is saying, you find that some of these parents also have a problem. So I have seen schools where they organize an academic day or a day when they bring in parents and they have a counselor for this parent so that the parents are able to talk to this counselor, they are counseled, so that at the end of the day they are also bringing up the child in the best way possible. So schools organize days for parents when they bring in a counselor and the counselor talks to them. They bring in a motivational speaker, not for the students but for the parents.
Okay. Because again, it's like the student may be guided in school, but you realize there is much of the abuse from the home. So that you find that the problem is right from home and not necessarily in school. And I want to really appreciate the fact that even the parents are getting that advice, which is also very key.
Other times, the teacher will guide the student, but when the student goes home, he is misguided.
Okay.
Yeah, so such are cases where you find that the parent needs help, sometimes more help than the student.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so that is where these bodies, even Ministry of Education, comes in. I've seen a case whereby a student was being corrected, and the parent did not buy the way in which the correction was done. So they ran to Ministry of Education, and our ministry had to, when the ministry of officials came, they had to sit the parent down and spell out a few things here and there. Yeah, so the parents, as much as they are parents, as much as they are expected to guide the students, at times they also need some guidance. Yeah.
And that is why we have the Musa Undunda body who is also able to reach out to parents and also guide them and also protect their rights as parents.
Yeah. Other times, other times the student is just overwhelmed. We used to have cases of term 2, cases of burning of schools being rampant, and it was felt that like term 2 was too long. As we speak now, we have term 1 being 13 weeks, term 2 13 weeks, and term 3 10 weeks. So I think that was a way of intervening so that the child is not burdened too much with education matters to a point where they feel overwhelmed and they have to resort to other ways maybe of venting. Yeah.
Even with the 1 week midterm break, it has really helped.
Yeah, that is another.
All students are now breaking for 1 week to rest, and that has really helped the situation.
Even the teachers have time to go and rest.
To just find themselves, go and relax and just refocus. Sure. Yeah. Wow. We could also talk of inspirational talks from maybe professionals. There are people who could come and talk to the students. Encourage them, motivate them, and guide them. And we also have inspirational retreats to just go and sit somewhere and maybe brainstorm and benchmark and do something that is outside the classroom that will help you like recollect yourself. Yeah.
Are all the schools doing this, Man Robert?
Yeah. The students mostly they also need a listening ear, someone who can listen to them, and if they have issues that they want to express, they always need someone who can listen to them and be of help to them. And that's why it's actually a requirement by the Ministry of Education that every school provides the guiding and counseling department. That is where the students can go and express themselves in the secrecy of the teachers that have been assigned to counsel and guide them, and in that manner we will not be able to see the negative things that the learners are doing, because most of these learners who end up burning schools and destroying properties, school property and all that, mostly even some who commit suicide, maybe they lacked someone who could have listened to them. But the schools are providing the guiding and counseling department where learners can go and express if there is something stressing them. They go and release it there so that they can be helped. And a way forward is is obtained.
That's a whole department of guiding and counseling, yeah?
Yes.
For example, like in a school, how many teachers could be in that department of the guiding and counseling?
According to the Ministry of Regulation rules, we should have at least 7 or 5, between 5 and 7.
Okay.
Yes, so that they can actually brainstorm, they can actually put their heads together
Yes.
and come up with a concrete program for
Yes.
guidance and counseling. I also want to add that I thank the Ministry of Education because they have brought in these chaplains where each and every school is supposed to employ a chaplain to guide these young ones. Because, most of the problems they are going through, they're actually spiritual. So when there's somebody there, not actually the Christian Union teacher, but a special person who is going to listen to them with a spiritual ear and even pray with them, be it a Muslim, be it a Hindu, be it a Christian, there is a particular person who is going to deal with their spiritual problems. So that is also a good intervention by the Ministry of Education.
Wow.
Another point to add is the fact that currently every teacher is assigned a number of students to guide and to mentor. Yeah, in a way to strengthen the guidance and counseling department. Yeah.
Actually, we call them families. Yes, whereby a certain teacher is assigned a certain number of students to work with, and they can have meetings at their own times.
Hey, that means there is a lot of good things that are happening in our education system, and we are looking forward in the next 5-10 years. We will be having an institution that is well groomed, well presented, well done in everything that they are doing. In fact, everything that has been assigned for an institution to do, it will be doing. And therefore, it is quite a bravo to the Minister of Education, and we believe that this is going to do a lot of good, because we are talking about a fully fledged, say for example, guiding and counseling department that is thinking through what kind of students we have and what are some of the challenges they are facing and how should we overcome them. And now the issue of the families, I think, is new, and it is something that needs to be embraced. I used to hear them, especially in homes, where students are staying with fully. They are not going anywhere because they are either orphans or destitute or something like that. But now, if it is being brought into the whole education system, I believe it's going to add a lot of flesh and good into our society. Dear viewer, we are talking about child abuse, and we want to have a brief break, and then we shall come back.
In Christ alone, my hope is found. He is my light, my strength, my song, this cornerstone.